Hello, English 22. This is Brandon. Here again to explain about ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is basically a way to convince somebody as a professional. So let's say I'm a doctor, um, or as a lawyer or something, saying that well, the law states such and such and such, and that means it's okay because I'm a lawyer. So it has to have, you know, some type of, has professional reasoning behind it, or something they can uh, follow back to professionally, or someone who's a professional. So yeah, and the next one is pathos, which is to appeal to someone emotionally, like basically, I don't get benefits. I basically am a temp, but I do what I can to work. Or um, I try my best to be a father, it's but I do what I have to do for my family. I think that's it. I tried. The next one is logos, which appears to be logic. It's a way of to appeal to people by logical reasoning. So basically, if McDonald's has served over billions, so then it must be good, right? Um, I'll let you sit on that for a bit. Okay, so basically, what's going on is that I have to describe one of these persuasive situations for you. Um, I had this time where somebody I knew wants to, she's not afraid. She's not afraid of. She doesn't want to sign a child custody for her son because she doesn't think her ex will go ahead and sign any custody papers because he's a drug addict or was a drug addict. And I says, as someone who, you know, I'm not necessarily giving her legal advice because it's against paralegal. You can't do that as a paralegal. They just form a suggestion like you should probably get that. You should probably claim. Um, you should probably claim custody because you never know what will happen. So, I just said it. I said just to be on the safe side, but she insists to not listen to me. So, you know, I'm trying to appeal to her as a professional who's trying to help her out and point her in the right direction, and she's not wanting to listen, and that's on her, and that would be considered under in ethos ethos an ethos persuasion, because I'm trying to come to her as for credibility, but I'm still not being listened to. And another example of Another example is of pathos is that, like I said before, I work hard for my family, and sometimes I just don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job. I work hard. I go to school. I try to give my son and my fiance as much time as possible, but I still feel like I'm not doing as good. But I still do what I have to do to support them anyways. I don't know if this is pathos or it's just personal problem of mine, but yeah. And logos. It's just, logos is reasoning, so I guess the time would be if we didn't have so many, we have lots of fleas in the house because my sister never washes her dog, so yeah, it's pretty much logos right there. I mean, it makes sense. If you want to cut down on fleas, you would wash your dog, or at least use medicine. Well, you have to use the medicine before you have to wash your dog, then use the medicine. So yeah, that sounds pretty logical to me. But sadly, it hasn't happened. Yeah, logic is kind of short here in this household. Don't tell anyone I said that. Yeah, I know that's really bad of me. Okay, and going on to Eric Schlosser's book, Fast Food Nation. I know that's probably backwards. Whatever. I don't know. My phone's weird. I will give examples of each one. Ethos it's from page 5. Talks about farm activist Jim Hightower, who warned about the McDonaldization of America. He viewed the emerging fast food industry as a threat to independent businesses, as a step toward a food economy dominated by giant corporations, and as a homogenizing influence of American life. He did this 5 years before this movie or book, Eat Your Heart Out. He said, bigger is not better, much to what Hightower feared has come to pass. The centralized purchasing decisions of large restaurant chains and their demands for standardized products have given a handful of corporations an unprecedented degree of power over the nation's supply. Basically, it's just that they can wipe out small businesses, obliterating regional differences, and spreading identical stores throughout the country is like a self-replicating code. As a farmer or a farm activist, he understands how it is, and he predicted exactly what would happen 5 years later. And he's pretty much on point there. Another example is chapter 1, I believe. It says the McDonald's Brothers Speedy Services, that's SPEEDE service systems, revolutionized the restaurant business. An ad of theirs seeking franchises later spelled out benefits of the system. Imagine no car hops, no waitresses, no dishwashers, no busboys. The McDonald's system is self-service. That appeals to the masses, especially around that time, because, who wants to do dishes? And I don't really know what a car hop job is. I'm not that old. And logos, which is something that you know appears as pretty reasonable or logical. Like McDonald's hires about 1 million people a day, more than any other American organization. McDonald's is the largest purchaser of pork, beef, and potato. I mean, that sounds good, right? McDonald's is providing jobs for nearly 1 million people, more than any other American organization, and they're the largest purchaser of pork, beef, and potatoes. So, therefore, they're getting lots of jobs to pork, beef, and potato farmers or industries or whatnot. I mean, that sounds like totally foolproof with absolutely no type of bad things in the back. Nothing. It sounds like perfectly fine. And the whole 1 million people, yeah, I'm sure they're totally getting paid really well and not getting, you know, it's not like practically slave wages or anything, because McDonald's is not like that. That sounds totally illogical. But, that paragraph I said to you was pretty logical, right? I mean, if I didn't know all the other bad stuff that McDonald's does, this sounds logical, right? It does. It does sound logical, because no one cares about what happens in the back. It's just that sentence sounds really good. It sounds like McDonald's is really helping America and not poisoning our food or having people overworked and underpaid and probably no benefits either. So yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying this book so far, and it's pretty depressing. I think I might go full vegetarian. Before I was kind of like part-time, but I don't know. Vegetarian food's hard to make, so other than that, everybody take care and have a good weekend.